There once lived a farmer in a small village who owned a piece of land that everyone considered cursed. For years, nothing would grow there. The soil looked healthy, the sun shone brightly, and rain fell regularly. But every seed he planted would either never sprout or die within days. The farmer became frustrated and bitter. He would wake up each morning thinking, "Why does this always happen to me? I must be unlucky. This land will never give me anything good." Day after day, these thoughts filled his mind like dark clouds covering the sun. One evening, an old wise woman was passing through the village. She noticed the farmer sitting sadly by his empty field and asked, "Why do you look so troubled, my friend?" The farmer explained his problem. "Nothing grows here. I've tried everything, but this land is against me. I'm convinced I'm destined to fail." The old woman listened carefully, then said something that surprised him. "Your land is not the problem. Your thoughts are the seeds you're planting first. And right now you're planting seeds of failure in your mind before you even put anything in the ground." The farmer looked confused. "What do you mean? I'm just being realistic about my situation." She smiled gently. "Every morning, before you even step outside, you tell yourself this land is cursed and nothing will grow. You expect failure, you imagine failure, and you prepare for failure. Your mind has already decided the outcome before your hands touch the soil." The farmer wanted to argue, but something in her words made him pause and think. The wise woman continued, "Tomorrow morning, I want you to try something different. Before you go to your field, sit quietly and imagine green plants growing strong and healthy. Picture yourself harvesting crops and feeling proud of your success. Fill your mind with thoughts of abundance instead of thoughts of lack." The farmer shook his head. "But that's just pretending. It won't change anything real." "Try it for 1 month," she replied. "If nothing changes, you can return to your old way of thinking. But if something does change, then you'll understand the power that lives inside your own mind." The next morning, the farmer felt silly, but he decided to try. Instead of thinking about failure, he imagined his field covered with healthy plants. Instead of expecting disappointment, he pictured himself succeeding. It felt strange at first, like wearing clothes that didn't fit properly. But something interesting began to happen. When he walked to his field with these new thoughts, he noticed things he had never seen before. He observed which areas got the most sunlight, where water collected after rain, and how the wind moved across the land. His mind was no longer focused on failure, so it could finally see opportunities. He started preparing the soil differently, planting seeds in better locations, and caring for his crops with genuine hope instead of doubt. Slowly, small green shoots began appearing. For the first time in years, something was actually growing. Word spread quickly through the village. People came to see the miracle happening in the cursed field. But the farmer now understood it wasn't magic. He had simply changed the seeds he was planting in his mind first, and everything else followed naturally. The old woman visited him again after the first successful harvest. "You see," she said, "your thoughts are like the roots of everything that grows in your life. When you plant thoughts of failure, you get failure. When you plant thoughts of success, you create the conditions for success to grow." The farmer nodded, finally understanding. "I spent years fighting my land when I should have been changing my mind." The wise woman looked at the farmer with knowing eyes. But this is only the beginning of what you need to learn. Changing your thoughts once or twice will not transform your entire life. The real challenge comes when old patterns try to return. She pointed to his flourishing field. "Tell me, what happens when you face a problem that has nothing to do with farming? When your neighbor speaks harshly to you, or when you lose money, or when someone you love becomes sick? Do you think the same old thoughts will try to come back?" The farmer considered this carefully. "I suppose they might. When difficult things happen, I usually think the worst right away." "Exactly," she replied. "Your mind has been practicing negative thoughts for years, like a muscle that has grown strong from constant use. 1 month of different thinking is good, but it's not enough to change a lifetime of mental habits. Over the following weeks, the farmer began to notice how his thoughts affected everything in his life, not just his crops. When his cart broke down, his first thought was, "This always happens to me." When his neighbor complained about his fence, he immediately thought, "People never like me." When prices at the market were low, he assumed, "I'll never make enough money." But now he caught himself thinking these thoughts and remembered the lesson from his field. Just like he had learned to imagine successful crops, he started practicing different thoughts about other challenges. When his cart broke, he thought, "I can fix this, and it will be stronger than before." When his neighbor complained, he thought, "Maybe we can find a solution that works for both of us." When market prices dropped, he thought, "This is temporary, and I can find other ways to earn." The changes were not immediate or easy. Some days, his old thinking patterns felt like heavy stones he had to carry everywhere. Other days, hopeful thoughts came naturally, like birds singing in the morning. He discovered that changing his mind was not a single decision, but a daily practice that required patience and commitment. Months passed, and the farmer's life began transforming in ways he never expected. Not only did his crops continue to grow successfully, but his relationships with neighbors improved. He found creative solutions to problems that used to defeat him. He felt more energetic and slept better at night. People in the village started coming to him for advice instead of avoiding him. One day, a young man from a nearby town heard about the farmer's transformation and came to visit. "Everyone says you have some kind of magic power now. Can you teach me your secret?" The farmer laughed softly. "There is no magic, my friend. I simply learned that my thoughts were creating my reality, and when I changed my thoughts, my reality changed too. But I must warn you, this is not easy work. It requires you to watch your mind carefully every single day and choose better thoughts, even when you don't feel like it." The young man looked disappointed. "I was hoping for something faster and simpler." "Most people are," the farmer replied. "That's why most people never change their lives." Friends, you may have noticed that the farmer's story teaches us something powerful about the human mind. We often spend years complaining about our circumstances, fighting against our problems, and blaming everything around us for our struggles. But the truth is, our thoughts are the seeds we plant in the garden of our lives every single day. Just like the farmer discovered, when we fill our minds with thoughts of failure, lack, and impossibility, we create the very conditions that make those thoughts come true. But when we choose to plant thoughts of hope, possibility, and success, we begin to see opportunities that were always there, but hidden from our negative mindset. The most important lesson is this: changing your thinking is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice that requires patience, commitment, and courage. Your old thought patterns will try to return, especially during difficult times. But if you stay consistent and keep choosing better thoughts, you'll discover that you have the power to transform not just your circumstances, but your entire life. So remember, whatever situation you're facing today, ask yourself, what seeds am I planting in my mind? Are they seeds of doubt and fear, or seeds of hope and possibility? The choice is always yours, and that choice will determine everything that grows in your life tomorrow.